Hello everybody, Sean from Talking Fandom and such here, and we're on our way in to see Spider-Man No Way Home. Stick around and we're going to tell you what we think. Alright everybody, we're back. And the movie was excellent, by the way. I definitely give the movie 5 out of 5 stars, just like I said in my short take review. If you haven't watched that, you really should start watching the little short take reviews as well. They are just really quick little opinions about things, always keeping it non-spoiler, of course. And I maintain that in this video we will not be spoiling, but there are a few things we want to be discussing. So the number one thing we definitely want to discuss is how this movie opens up with humor. The Spider-Man movies have been great for having a little bit more comedy than even some of them. Now, a lot of the Marvel movies have had a lot of comedy. This separates them from the DC cinematic universe, which is so much darker. And, if you take a look at the DC cinematic universe, you will find that a lot of times what you have is a universe where all this utterly dark stuff constantly has to happen. It's so edgy and violent and everything. And it's a breath of fresh air to be in a Marvel cinematic movie where they may get a little darker at times, but even in their darkest moments, they're going to inject a little comedy. The movie opens up right after the events of Far From Home, where he has been outed as Spider-Man. And it's a roller coaster from that moment on. That comedy I was talking about comes into play right at the beginning of the movie in a very Superman 3-esque fashion, where if you saw Superman 3 way back in the day, you know that it started off with him walking around and bumping into things. This isn't quite that slapstick, but it does happen sort of like that. It's blinking, you miss it, little nudges and nods, things happening around him. And the movie doesn't let up. From the very second it starts, it keeps itself going in this epic roller coaster that is unlike anything you've ever seen before. And if this is the multiverse coming in to change things up, because the whole thing was that these people are coming in from different dimensions. You see that in the commercial. So that's the way we're going with Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, then oh, I cannot wait. This is going to be one of the craziest Marvel phases we've ever seen. And it's just outrageous. Now, the thing of it is, I know what you guys want to hear. I know. I already know what you want to hear. You want to hear, are they in it? Are they? My lips are sealed. You're just going to have to pay the money and go and see this movie and support your local movie theaters. Because I can't tell you this. What I will say is that in the past couple movies, MJ has said some of the best lines we've gotten in any of the movies. In my humble opinion, of course, because all film is subjective. But the one line she says that I think is so great for every fan to remember is, expect the worst and you'll never be disappointed. Now, I say this because if you're expecting certain people to be in the movie and they're not, then you're going to be disappointed. And if you're expecting them to not be in the movie, well, then you're going in with a clean slate. You're going in understanding that they have a plan, that you may not know about this plan, but you're coming along for the ride that the writers and the creators are taking you on. And this movie doesn't disappoint. It takes you on this ride. Now, I've done a few videos on the rumors of who's in the film and who's not, and I urge you to check those out. We talked about Tom Holland possibly not playing Spider-Man and where they go from there. In that video, I actually do kind of talk about the possibility that maybe we have two cinematic Spider-Men. That possibly Tom Holland is the Sonyverse Spider-Man, and someone like Andrew could be the new Spider-Man in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And I did a video on the fact that the actor that played Daredevil was reportedly seen on the set. Now, I of course can't tell you if any of those panned out. You're going to have to support your local theater and go see these movies for yourself. Now, that being said, I can tell you the movie's a roller coaster. It's very well worth it. It's well worth the price of admission. I absolutely adored this movie. And it is such a great trilogy now. The fact that you can watch all of these movies back to back and have this overarching story that blends together as well as it does. Not to mention his outings with the Avengers and everything else that Spider-Man has done. Never once does this movie ignore what's happened or will happen. It doesn't shy away from any of that. Now, that being said, there are 2 end-credit scenes you need to check out. So stick around, because one explains some stuff that you may have thought you might see in the movie that you don't get to see. And it's the closest thing to a spoiler I'm going to say. You want to stick around to see exactly what that is and how it impacts everything going forward. And then the other thing is that you want to stick around because they tell you where a lot of things are going forward in the last little end credit scene. So you definitely want to stick around and watch those. You don't want to miss those at all. Alright, everybody. So you know what you have to do. Go ahead and share this video so that your friends enjoy the same great content you're enjoying. You'll also be helping this channel grow, and a portion of all proceeds from this channel will go to Tourette's research, ultimately helping to save the world and make the world a better place, one video at a time. Make sure you're hitting that like button so that YouTube knows you like our content. Leave a comment in the comment box below, because YouTube really likes it when you do that, and we like to hear from you. We want to have an entire conversation with you in our comment box below. We want your opinions on what videos we should do next and all that good stuff. And then, friends, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Miko thinks we need more subscribers, and I tend to agree with him. Then don't forget to hit that notification bell so you know when we do our next video. We've got a lot of great content coming up, and you don't want to miss it. And then at the end of the day, friends, there's 2 things to remember. Number 1, be safe out there, because the Christmas season is among us, and it's a very stressful time of year. You can use all the friends and support you want, and that brings us to our next thing. Don't be afraid to ask your friends and your family for help, because fandom is family.